Hey, it's Ryan over at 2 Minute Tennis, and in this video, I'm going to share 5 simple single strategies to help you win your next match. Feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Even share this video with a friend or family member, as those are absolutely the best ways to support this channel. Now, there are 5 phases of a singles match: serving, returning, rallying, when you come to the net, and when your opponent comes to the net. And I'm going to give you one tip for each phase to help you win your next match. So the first tip is when you are serving. And the first tip is simply get a high percentage of your first serves in the box. I know that most amateurs, most recreational players I see, they go for a really big, fast first serve and their percentage drops. And then they make it actually harder to hold serve. I want you to drop the speed of your first serve just a little bit and get more into the box. Try adding some spin. Try serving right down the center of the box to be more consistent and jam your opponent. Getting a high percentage of first serves in the box is definitely going to help you hold serve more often. The second tip is when you are returning serve. When you are returning, I want you in your mind to pre-plan where you're going to hit the return. And what I want you to do is I want you to cut your opponent's court into thirds. And when your opponent serves to you, I want you to hit the majority of your returns back down the center of the court. Look at Federer. He does this all the time. You're going to be super consistent. You'll often jam your opponent if you can get it deep because they're coming out of their serve. And if there's someone who likes to use a serve plus one strategy against you, you're going to be giving them less angle. All right, the third tip is when you are rallying back and forth from behind the baseline. So you're behind the baseline, your opponent's behind the baseline, and I love telling my students this all the time. There's no net up here, right? There's no net way up above the net. So stop skimming the net and trying to hit the ball super low. You will dominate the rallying phase of the singles match when you can hit higher over the net than you typically do. It's called an air target. So rather than skimming the net and you end up hitting the ball short and you're giving the opponent a very easy strike zone, arc the ball a little higher. I'm not telling you to hit lobs or to become a pusher, but think of the way Nadal hits a little higher over the net than most of his opponents. When you have a higher air target above the net, you're going to hit the net less often, and the ball then lands deeper because the higher you hit it, the longer the ball stays in the air and the ball lands deep near the baseline. So when you're rallying with your opponent, hit higher over the net than you think you should, and you're going to hit deeper and dominate the rallying phase. All right, the fourth tip is when you come to the net. I see this mistake by amateur players and pros. And if you start making this slight little change, you're going to win more points at the net. So your opponent hits short, you come in and attack, you hit the approach shot, let's say they're right-handed, you hit to their backhand side, and you come forward. They now give you a high volley that you can put away. The mistake I see players make all the time is they hit the ball hard and deep. When you hit this volley hard and deep, you end up hitting it closer to your opponent. It's a shorter distance for them to get it. What I'd rather you do is hit the ball short and at an angle. So when you come in, you got this higher volley and you're looking to end the point, make the ball land in the middle of the service box and hit it softly. It's going to be a much farther distance for them to run down that ball. They never will, and you win more points. Watch the pros. They often hit their put-away volleys deep, which give the opponent a chance to get their racket on it. When you come to the net and you're looking to end the point, volley the ball short. And the last tip has to do with when your opponent comes to the net. This is what I call the two-shot passing shot strategy. So you hit the ball short, your opponent comes in and attacks. Let's say they pull you off. If you're right-handed, they pull you off to your forehand. You're in a little bit of trouble. I see players make this mistake all the time. They end up going for the hero shot, right? The 1 in a million shot. They try to like rip it up the line or hit this incredible shot cross court. They only make 1 out of 5 and they end up losing the other 4. What I'd rather you do in this situation is when your opponent comes to the net, give them a tough volley. Force them to hit an amazing shot. Just hit the ball down the middle of the court and low. Give them a half volley, a low volley, a shoestring volley. Force them to hit the ball from below net level. They're either going to miss that ball, especially if there's someone who doesn't split step and they can't adjust to that ball. But even if they do get it over the net, it's going to be a weaker volley. you then get to step inside the court and hit the pass on a much easier ball. Rather than going for the passing shot right off the bat when your opponent comes to the net, hit it low to them at first, let them pop it up, then you have a much easier time passing them. You follow those 5 strategies and you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Ritty over at 2minutetennis.net, and I'll see you in the next video.